the recorded conversation, because the way they set up the system is so disgusting. You call public health tries to get you to call 311. When you call 311, they tell you to report the incident. So you give your name, you report the incident, they say, thank you, the incident's been reported. So I say, okay, so where do I find out what happened to the business? Oh, you can't follow up. What do you mean I can't follow up? So how do I know what happened? Oh, you don't know what happened. You just got to make the complaint and hope for the best. What? Why can I not follow up? It's my complaint. The privacy laws has to do with health, but it's my own health and privacy. Sir, I do not make the rules. That's what she said. I said, in that case, let me talk to the person who does. I want to talk to your supervisor. Supervisor came on. They're doing that here. She gave me a note that says Walmart is enforcing mandatory masks as of August 12th. But I was talking about Walmart in the States. Walmart, CVS, Home Depot, Lowe's, all those stores collectively canceled the policy. So even though Walmart is saying they're going to do it here, I'm pretty sure we can get them to cancel that policy. That's what we got to do.
Woo! Exactly.
So back to 311. I spoke with the supervisor. I told him that the system is set up in a way to usher in complete unaccountability. You talk to public health gives you the 311. 311 takes your complaint, and then basically you don't know what happens after that. I told him that's unacceptable. I told him on Monday, you better call me back. I want to follow up, and I want the recording. So as of Monday, I should get a call back from Dave at 311, a supervisor, much more information on this, because I've been telling everybody to report, and I didn't know they were taking the reports and basically just sliding it under something and leaving it. So no, I get reports every day. So on MAD website, I'm going to make a new feature. So you can go to the getmad.online website, and there's going to be a button you can click to report a mask exemption bylaw violation. And it's going to allow you to send your email directly to public health and 311 at the same time from one click of a button. Because everybody's messaging me every day. I literally get dozens of people messaging me saying this happened, this happened, this happened. And sometimes when I have the time, I forward it to public health, but I can't do that for everybody. So we're going to make a feature on the website so you can go and report a face mask exemption violation. And we got to flood them with so many of these that they take notice. I told them on the phone, the law that you have given is intentionally misleading. You have not given a public statement to these businesses on how to enforce a law. How does a business enforce a law when they're not given the correct information? You will get confusion. You will get conflict. You will get a 73-year-old man showing up to a grocery store without a mask and being killed for it. And this is the kind of thing that's happening. Maybe not such on a grand scale of being killed, but definitely being embarrassed, harassed, made to feel like shopping is a chore. Go to the mall without a mask. Claim your medical exemption. Walk around for half an hour and see how many other people ask you why you're not wearing a mask.
Oh, yeah.
It becomes a very stressful situation. And for everybody involved. Why? Because they have not been properly informed. If they had been informed that anybody not wearing a mask obviously has a medical condition, it would not even raise an eyebrow when they see someone not wearing a mask. But their intention is to scare people to wear the mask, is to ostracize the people not wearing a mask. That is why they try to keep this information from the public, and that is why it's vital that we get on their case to make them make this public statement. As soon as public health makes a public statement, all the problems, all the conflict go away, and mandatory masks become an optional mask. That's what we need. We need to keep our freedom of choice. Back to MAD. For the schools, anybody who emails from this point to help keep things organized, in the subject heading, make a description if you're trying to offer a location, if you're trying to offer your services as a teacher, or if you're trying to offer up your children as registrants. It helps keep it organized. I was not expecting this many emails to come in. It's absolutely, it's very inspiring. I'm not upset about it, but my organizational skills are not as good as my speaking skills. So I need your guys' help. Thank you. As far as everything else goes, tomorrow there's going to be some activity going on in Kitchener, right? I'm going to be there. I just want everybody to know I'm going down so we can support our people over there. So you know that when we're telling everybody we're trying to recreate these movements in all other cities, that we really are. And we're going there to help them do it. because this is what we need. We need united non-compliance. All across Canada, all across the United States. When they tell you to put on the mask, you say no. When they tell you what's your phone number and your name for contact tracing, you say hell no. When they say here's your wonderful vaccine, what are you going to say? Hell no. Thank you, everybody.
Good call, everyone. This is a movement, and we are starting to spread everywhere, and we're going to spread fast, much faster than we anticipated. So, and we're going to draw the attention that we need. We're now going after funding for all of our organizations because it is necessary in order to get all this stuff done. We are providing support. So if you guys have family members that are out of the city, even out of the province, that are looking to open up chapters, get in touch with us immediately and we'll set them up. And we'll get them everything that they need to get going, including all their rights. I've written out everything. We've got letters to set out to arm everybody with their rights against anybody who's trying to shut us down. Why? Because Section 2 of the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms gives us the ability to gather and protest and have events wherever we choose to. This is our land. These are our kids. These are our parents. Those are our schools. These are our laws. And guess what? Check, check. Yes, it's time to get mad.
Exactly. Good point. Yep.
So, in light of all the seriousness of our events, we like to try and bring everybody back down to a calm and happy. So right now we're going to have a gentleman come up here. And he has he's a comedian, and he likes to call this little skit of his a crazy man's perspective. Masks over hugs. Come on up here, honey.
Before all this started, I was half crazy, and now I think I'm fully crazy. But it's important to be able to see. It's important to see the other side of the argument. We got to see both sides of the argument. So I thought that I would really try and embrace the argument that our government is giving us, that this crisis is being caused by a parasite that is contagious and disease-causing, being pathogenic. It is submicroscopic, so small you can't even see it with your eyes. It is durable, meaning that it's resilient. It can stay on a shopping cart for days on end. And it is more prolific than a bunch of rabbits in the spring. This is the model of our enemy, and this has been blown up to 500,000 times bigger than the virus really is. Now you might know that I've also, to really embrace the other side's view, I'm wearing a mask. But this is a placebo mask, to be fair for the science. But it's not just any placebo mask, it's made from emperor's cloth. You might know the emperor had the finest cloth in the land. And this was dug up from his tomb, and it's downloadable over the internet. So if you were to blow up the emperor's cloth 500,000 times bigger than it really is, it would look like cheesecloth. And you can see the cheesecloth is a lot finer than the coronavirus, and that's why it works. But that's assuming that we do have this incredible virus that you can't see, that is prolific and has infected all of us. In fact, you might not even know you have it. It's so bad. So this is just like professional wrestling. We got a heel, and we know who the heel is. And we got a face. Who can the face be? But that's us. But we can't put our own face up there. We've got to send anybody's out, because it's a germ warfare. This is Louis Pasteur at his best. Germ versus germ. So with you got a body like mine, what chances do you got about fighting a heel like coronavirus? Not much. So that means I need some help for my antibodies. I need an antibody bodyguard. Well, don't we all? So I see a few of them walking around here, and they look buff. But there you go. So now, if viruses or vaccines have traditionally been a 2-in-1, they've got the venom and the antivenom all in one container. It's like the humidifier and the dehumidifier put together. Put them in the basement, let them fight it out. But somehow, the antivenom can't really fight the venom directly. It's kind of like trash talking. When I get you into that body, pal, you're going to be dead. I'm going to tell it's a coach, really. It tells your antibody system how to behave. So if I were you, I'd kick him in the you-know-where. But there's no rules in a germ fight. That's the whole thing. So you have really outsourced your immune system to some sort of thug that you don't even really know. And sometimes our immune system plays tricks on us. It attacks us when we don't even know it, autoimmune diseases. How fair is that? So maybe there is something to the social distancing. You know, like I set a social distancing record. I'm up to 2,475 people that I've socially distanced from. And I've got a record, 3.25 meters. And I submitted it to the Guinness Book of Records, and they're validating it. But I'm in training for a 6-meter distance. Wish me luck, guys. Wish me luck. Here's another final thought in terms of logic. So, you know, I wear a mask to protect you. You wear a mask to protect me. I take a vaccine to protect me. You take a vaccine to protect you. But in the past, vaccines have always had the virus that we're fighting. So as soon as I get a vaccine, well, that means I'm contagious. And that means that I'm out spewing virus to everybody after I get vaccinated. So to follow their rules, if you get vaccinated, you should also be quarantined and masked until everybody on the planet is vaccinated.
Good point.
Well, doesn't that make the most sense? It makes the most sense of whatever you have. Anyway, I'm kind of out of material here, so I'm going to thank you very much for your attention. I'm going to see you next week.
Thank you so much, sweetheart. It's good to have a little bit of laughs once in a while, right, folks? So I'm going to let June come up. She's got a few things to say. They're very important. She's been through a really rough time when it comes to her children and stuff. It's a very important story, and then I'll be right back. June, big round of applause, everyone, please.
Hi. Okay, I want to start with the prayer. Father, I pray, let us be honest in your sight. Let us be speaking for somebody who cannot speak. Let us be protecting somebody who cannot protect themselves. Let us be for Jesus and for each other, for our most vulnerable children. Thank you, Father. In Jesus' mighty name, amen. I just want to say that, you know, martial law is available right now already in Canada. And federal government has authorized an initial and package with the enactment of COVID-19 Emergency Response Act. By this law, whatever you go against government emergency act, you can escort it. You can be escorted by military, police. Now, if they want, they can do it. But they don't do it because it looks very bad and virus is not spreaded enough. Virus is created before, I mean after vaccine created, okay? Vaccine was prepared long before. Yes. This is nothing to do with the virus. This is nothing to do. This is for something else. They call it depopulation. Testing, you make you sleep on your brain, part of brain, right? And then you get really easy to get virus, susceptible, right? They call it. So it starts with a very vulnerable population, like nursing home, like foster care children. My children are very, very dangerous. See, disabled children, they cannot talk. They will attack them. Enfant. Yesterday I saw the TV and they started enfant sit. They started. Oh, baby newborn died. COVID-19. You don't know. We don't know. They cannot talk. They cannot say no. They will start from there. And if you cannot stop them, they will start global vaccination here by doing it, right? It already started. So they call it about my experience. How do I know this? Because of the Children's Aid experience. I know when professionals started lying about things, how dangerous it is. When the top of the line professionals, when the top of the line politicians are so quiet about little ones' freedom. For me, it was just, you know, going to church and say things like about Jesus freely. It was all about, actually. So if they are quiet about that, started genocide those people who has a little voice, maybe little voice, but they're available to Jesus. They're available to the society. But when you do that, what happened? You think you cannot, you don't see it. It starts from there. You don't see it. But that is a real start. that will bring all global vaccination here with martial law. So I ask, really, defund children's aid. Defund children's aid. That's the jailing of children. Defund children's aid. And then, right now, you have to stop those martial law for COVID emergency. They already act on. We have to stop that.
Yes,
June, everybody, that was June. There's a lot of people that are really scared of what's happening right now, especially because of all the events that we've been witnessing in Melbourne, Australia. So, and everybody has the right to be afraid of these things, but they're not going to lock us up, folks. They're not going to lock me up. I don't think they're going to lock you up. Are they going to lock you up? No. They're not going to shut me up. Are they going to shut you up? No. They're not going to put a mask on my face. They're going to put a mask on your face? They're going to put a mask on your kids' faces? Not going to happen. Not here. Not in our country. This is our country. This is our land. Those are our kids. Those are our parents. These are our rules. This is our authority. It's time for Hugs Over Masks. Hugs Nation. It's time that they stop crossing our line. And it's time to get mad. We've got a couple of announcements, quick announcements before I bring up our favorite speaker. Krishna, would you like to come up and make your announcement? Great. Paul, come on up here.
Hello, everybody. Who gave the government power? We did. Now they're taking more to themselves without getting any approval from us. Time to take power back. It's time to create community. One trade forward at a time. Tradeforwardcommunity.ca is now active. Please sign up and start supporting local people. All right? They are going to continue to squeeze us, make more and more rules mandatory, with us trying to find out some way of sticking up for our rights. Time for us to work together, to support each other, to support businesses in ways that's good for us, so we take the power back to ourselves. Sign up.
That's awesome. Polly, our favorite activist. Come on over here, honey bun. Paul calls me halfway this week, and him and Letitia, they had me cracking up. So they call me because they make this massive banner, and they want to hang it up over the gardener. And they're like, so what should we do? Should we hang it up? Should we leave it here? What should we do? I'm like, just hold it there for 10 minutes. If you take it down, no one can tell you nothing because you're not vandalizing because you're taking it down. And they're like, okay, we're going to do it. And I'm still waiting for the video. So, 1 second. Here's Polly, honey.
Yeah, it's actually kind of fun because I've always been kind of a crazy rebel myself, so now I get to put it to good use. Kind of. You told me to hang it there and run at first.
I did.
And I said, whoa, because I asked the peace officers last week, and they said, well, as long as you stay there with it. So I decided to play it cool. Letitia and I were just testing out the waters, kind of. And we're thinking of organizing something like organizing it ahead of time where we have a bunch of us, and who knows, maybe the media will come or whatever, right? And it'll create, draw a lot of attention. So yeah, actually one of the guys recognized Letitia from the hospital incident, and we seem to have a reputation. They called the police. We were gone before they came. But yeah, anyway, it's pretty fun. It's a good time. So we'll talk about that in the near future, organizing something else. As well, every day I want to be, this is something I was talking about, so I got a whole bunch more stickers made, lots of them. I want to promote the websites. So this is MAD, right? GetMad.online.
Oh yeah.
Hugs Over Masks. We have another one made for that, and I'm getting loads more made with other slogans. I can't even remember exactly right now, but you can also specially request to me. But I think this is perfect. I was actually just talking 2 seconds ago with somebody over there, and they were talking about graffiti being drawn, COVID equals hoax in the Danforth, and I'm like, whoa, that wasn't me, like I don't want to get arrested. But it's catching on, right? Like it's just like the media. It's like when you hear something, when you see something on TV repeatedly, over and over and over, all right? And it's propaganda. That's why people start believing it. So, hey, if they start seeing this, the first time they might not be too receptive to it, but if they keep hearing it and hearing it and hearing it, and then they start to see the BS themselves, and it'll catch on, right? So whoever wants one, it's not just for your car, it could be for your boat, it could be for your bike, it could be for wherever. Forehead, yeah. Yeah, talk to me. I'm also if you think, like, I'm located in the GTA area, and I mean, like, I'm busy with work and whatnot, but if you think you can help me distribute them, I'm going to be giving it to Suzanne in Burlington, for instance, giving her a bunch, and she'll distribute them. I'd like to have some help if somebody feels they can help me out with this. So it's that, and then maybe the only other thing I could talk about is contact tracing for 1 second. Because I work for the construction laborers union. It's probably the biggest union in North America. And I saw an article how the union reps or whatever they're pushing contact tracing. And I find it funny because it's all the people behind the scenes that are in bed with the government, or so to speak, right? When it comes down to the workers, it's like, are these guys not aware that on every job site we have too much common sense? Not one person wears a mask. Not one person social distancing. All right, like maybe one or two here and there, but it doesn't happen. So on a daily basis, I'm going to be talking to guys at work and being like, okay, this is what's happening. Do you guys realize that if all it takes is for one person to download the app, then you get like a false positive test or whatever, and then we're all out of work. We can't feed our families for 2 weeks. Any other job site we've been on, like in the last week or whatever, it's going to have a horrible effect for all of us. And we all know it's BS. So just have these little conversations. You don't have to go attacking anyone or whatever, but just these little conversations with people every day, right? And lead by example. I'm starting to see my other people who have been silent. Now they're posting events. But, they're doing events. And they're saying, okay, social distancing in effect or whatever, but hey, baby steps. It's good to see that they're getting out and having fun. So I think it's really encouraging in that sense. And yeah, let's keep it up, all right? Thanks.
Thanks for calling, everybody. I'm just going to take 1 minute for myself. That is going to come up, and we're going to finish off our speeches. When you're trying to reach out to other people, it's very difficult, especially with the indoctrination of fear spread under the circumstances of COVID. But there's a lot of other things that you can get their attention on. We have a prime minister who's funded terrorism. We've got a minister of defense who lied on his resume in order to get his job. We've got a minister of finance who's committed inside trading and is now stealing from children under the guise and blanket of charities. Okay, we've got an ex-minister of immigration who tried to permit the practice of female genital mutilation in Canada. All of these things you can watch happen and be confronted in the House of Commons. So we'll speak more about that, and I'll post lots of stuff on Facebook, including the links for you guys to verify the information. These are conversation starters, folks, and they're very important. So with that, Vlad's over there.
Happy Saturday, beautiful people! Okay, I'll have to go pretty fast because I think this thing will die in a second now. Quickly, the important thing, we have new flyers made up. This is a version number 3. Grateful to 6 people, including myself, spent about 40 hours combined making this, guys. Everything we designed, the front page, the back page. We have 15,000 printed for this weekend to distribute across Ontario. The previous versions, we printed 60,000 and distributed across Ontario, guys. So this stuff works. You can get it, and you can benefit from everything that we said here. So take the time, both sides are redesigned. I'm not going to talk about it. It's also on our website. So please upload from the website, and then you can benefit from the information. So, what can I say? We have 8 locations happening this weekend on the Hugs of a Mask with all the organization present across Canada. Go to the Hugs of a Mask events. You'll see the time and the location. We are making them universal for a reason, okay? The messaging is the same, the flyers are the same, the only thing is different is either Saturday or Sunday, and the times pretty much all of them are from 12 to 4. And the idea is to come in a social gathering. We still have to say it's a protest, otherwise they're not going to let us do it, right? But at the same time, we want to bring the social gathering. If you're inviting new people, don't tell them they come into the protest. Tell them they come into social gathering to connect with other like-minded, awake individuals, right? They don't have to do protest, they don't have to hold the sign and yell and stuff like that, right? The people that come and want to do it, fantastic, and you connect to those people, you build relationship, and we strongly recommend to do the activist work during the week, because that's where you're going to have a real impact. And this is an honest question I want to ask of you guys. Why are you here today? Are you here today to build connections and relationship? And if it's yes, that's great. Acknowledge that, right? Yeah. Second thing, are you here to make an impact, right? Great. Acknowledge that. Now, the honest question to ask yourself, how much impact are you actually able to create just by being here? Rather than being out in public and educating the people in your community on a daily basis throughout the week. I really want you to ask the honest question, okay? And I ask that question myself first before I ask you guys, right? So for us to be really impactful and create a real change in the community, coming here and marching is not enough. It's not enough, okay? We're doing it here because we're making a change, and that's great, but again, I'm just gonna empower you guys to take actions during the week, okay? You need to have those meaningful conversations. You need to get uncomfortable enough times. I'm not asking you to do it every day. Every day is different, right? Your best is different day to day. So don't be hard on yourself if on Monday necessarily don't feel like it, but just do your best. Talk to one person. Think about this. If all you do is you talk to one person and you do it 5 days a week, guess what? You impacted 5 people that day. Now you do it 4 weeks in a row, guess what? That's 20 people. Now we have at least a couple of hundred people here today. If every single person would do that, you do the math, how many people you just changed and impacted? Exactly, right? 400, right? Guess what? This is what we can do. We can really make that change. So we have to make sure that we're proactive during the weekend in making a change to impact our communities. The hugsofamask.ca is the main initiative that started here in the middle of the Main, right? And the whole idea was to make sure that we oppose all the measures that the government is creating. The mask is just a symbol. It was never just about a mask, okay? The mask is a symbol that encompasses all the measures, the social distancing, the contact tracing, the mandatory vaccination. The mask is a symbol that impacts that all, and it's very visual, and that's why we used it in this. But hugs are first, and that's what it represents: humanity, people coming together, people embracing each other, and defending our way of life. That's what I want you to understand. This is why we created this movement to begin with. And yes, we are working everyone together with making sure that we can cover as much ground as possible, right? That's why all the initiatives are important, because people can relate to different things, and they can be part of all the different organizations at the same time. If you want to just belong to one, that's fantastic. So use whatever angle you can when you're talking to people. Know your people, right? If you know they're very active and they want to hold the sign and they want to do the actual stuff, the Lion movement is phenomenal for that, and it's represented all across the country. The Hugs of a Mask Nation is geared a lot towards, you know, the moms and the people that necessarily professionals and they're necessarily maybe afraid to be photographed and then to the workplace featured and stuff like that. So there's different angles you can use. So just I'm empowering you to think about your audience. It's important to know who you're talking to, right? And the idea again is we have to build this moment. I don't want to be right about this. However, I won't be surprised if the curfews that they're implementing in Australia will be coming to Ontario in a couple of weeks, if not sooner. I won't be surprised, and trust me, I don't want to be right about it. And we have to be extremely vigilant about that. And that's what I'm saying on our Zoom calls all the time. We have no time, and we have to be extremely proactive with the actions that we take. We have to build this movement. We have to connect with as many people as possible, because when the curfew comes, guess what? We're not going to have that opportunity to come together. So it's imperative for us to talk to people. I know it's summer. I know people want to have a good time. Guess what? It's not the time for that, unfortunately, right? This is the good time right here. Thank you. This is the important occasion for everyone to come together. And if you go, thank you. And if you go on Hugs of a Mask event site, you will see 8 locations across the country. We have BC in Surrey, today obviously Toronto here, and we have Kitchener, Hamilton, London, Owen Sound, Ottawa, and Montreal tomorrow. Okay, those are the locations. And for the next week, we're going to get at least 20 locations. At least we have to do it. The thing that I want to mention, the Hugs of a Mask, the initiative, now transforming into Hugs Nation. Hugs Nation is basically going to be represented education system. It's representing youth leadership program. As you can see, we've always been encouraging the children, the young generation, to come and speak, right? And I said this before, for me, the We Charity collapse and the whole disaster with that is not a coincidence. It's there for a reason, so then we can come in and fill that gap and provide the platform for the young people to make sure that they have a voice. They should be able to connect. So stay tuned for Hugs Nation. I got all the domains. 2 weeks ago to make sure that we secure that and we're able to build a platform for our next generation. Because I said this before, our children will have to grow up really fast in this world. They have to. You know, they have to be the warriors along the parents side by side. Not in the background, side by side. This is just the reality of the world that we're facing, and they have to be equipped with the right information. They have to be equipped to be able to stand the ground. And the thing that we're going to be working, and I might as well announce it, you know, we're going to iron details, whatever, but what's the first day of school? What's the date? September 8th. Guess what the schools will have to do in most provinces around Canada? Mandatory mask. Guess what we're going to do? We're going to go to schools with our children and we're going to stand the ground. Our children not going to wear the mask. So first day of school, we're going to build them that towards that date. So people will ask me, what's the big date we can have some action happening? Guess what? First day of school is our day of action. We're going to mobilize. We'll talk about it later. Stay tuned for all the details, guys. We have a lot of stuff going on. We're doing our best to organize everything, but that's what we're going to be working towards. The emails to send information for schools, again, Chris, is private schools at Proton email. hugsnation2020@gmail.com. You can send all the details. We're correlating a lot of efforts to work together. Because again, if it's a lot of us, we can cover a lot of ground, and guess what? You never know what happens tomorrow. That's why even myself, I have Colin working with me side by side to share all the information, because we have to make sure that there's not just one hat that can take off and then the whole thing collapses. Let's have to be smart. You have to spread the leadership, you have to spread the organizations, because then it's hard for people to take us down, and that's what we have to focus on. So I'm gonna bring my mom. Yep. Thank you. Yep. Okay, that's awesome. So, yes.
By talking to people, inform people, the best way to spread those flyers, they're very helpful for people. Like I try to say, people they start, you know, like
so the flyers, like I said, are a very helpful tool, and that's what we said from the beginning. We've been distributing these flyers since May. Okay, guys, the free exemption flyer plus the education part on the back. Okay, so what we're saying, this is the tool for us to empower people with information. And again, Dr. Tenpenny says, and I agree 100%, I've been saying it from the beginning too, the best way for you to interact with a new person is not to make a statement to them, is ask a question. Ask a question, plant that seed of doubt. My favorite one is, do you think you can have empty hospitals in a real pandemic? Right? That's my favorite question. Now, the last thing I'm going to say, we are in Kitchener tomorrow, and the whole idea with the Kitchener event is obviously to create a chapter of Hugs of a Mask with all the organizations there on a regular basis. However, tomorrow is also Human Trafficking Awareness Day there too. We participated last Thursday, not last week Thursday, in 2 events, Worldwide Human Trafficking Awareness Day. There's actually some flyers still here for you to pick up and get some information about that. We participated in Barrie, and we rushed and participated in Toronto as well. I had media contacting us and saying, are you guys trying to trick the people to come to Human Trafficking Awareness Day? But it's Hugs of a Mask Day actually. So the only thing I can tell you, as long as the media is talking about us, I'm going to say thank you for talking about us. I cannot tell you how many times people come to our event or message us and they say, you know what, somebody talks bad about your event on their page, but that's why I came. So let them talk about us. Okay, so when I was making this interview on radio host in Kitchener, they would try to come up with me from all the angles. Are you anti-vaxxer? Are you trying to promote your business? Like, what are you trying to trick the people? I told them, the whole idea about COVID, the positive thing, is that it forces people to look at the truth now. So much things are getting exposed, and that's the benefit of the COVID situation, that we are all talking about real issues. Human trafficking, vaccine injuries, right? The 5G harm, right? The COVID measures that are actually harmful to the public and designed specifically to create control. And again, if people even question before, the other question that you want to ask people and kind of plant a seed of doubt, ask them, have you heard about Australia? Do you know they only had less than 300 people dying? Less than 300 people dying and 27 million people in the lockdown? Does that make sense to you? Ask that question. Let them think about it. That's one of the best things that I can recommend. Okay, guys, I'm going to bring Lamont back just to wrap it up and then do the march. Thank you, everybody. hugsofamask@gmail.com. All the details, and love you all, guys. Hugs over fear, love over fear. Stay healthy, everybody.
Hey, thank you so much. Hands together for Vlad, Chris, Guy, Kelly, and all our wonderful speakers today. We always do our best to get you guys up here. However, there's a lot of people that want to get on the street and start marching, correct? Yes or yes? Yes. So let's meet down there in literally 2 minutes. Once I unpack the speaker, we're going to have a word from Vlad.
Sorry guys, last thing I forgot to mention, the organizational part. Whoever wants to speak, from now on, the email is hogsofamask@gmail.com. You have to submit your information by Wednesdays evening that you want to speak and the topic you want to cover. Then we're going to contact you back and we're going to advise you on a list of the speeches that we're going to be having. That way we can be organized. You cannot come last minute and you want to speak. The only exceptions we're going to make are the children. If a child wants to speak, a teenager wants to speak, they'll definitely will have that opportunity. But for all the adults, please email us that you want to talk next event and the topic you want to discuss. And even best, if you have something written up, would be great. So then we'll be able to coordinate the speeches and we'll have a list provided.